Hey YouTube, this is FS Physicus. We're coming to you today from upstate New York. Despite the fact that it's after the first day of spring, it's still winter here. So we hope to be able to get back to the shooting videos shortly. However, today we are indoors and we have the unboxing of the Beretta M9. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the Beretta M9 comes in a blue cardboard box from Beretta. Has a nice logo on it. We have all the information such as UPC, serial number, SKU, and whatnot at the label on the end. I'll go ahead and open that up. And little blue case with the instruction manual. Of course, now I'm sure you're wondering, I thought he said this was a Beretta M9. Why do we have the manual for a 92FS? Well, if you don't know already, the Beretta M9 is actually the Beretta M9 commercial, which is what I have here, is Beretta actually terms it a replica of the military M9. And the M9 is the military version of the 92FS. So mechanically, the two firearms are identical is in every way that I can determine, and cosmetically they're very close. So the fact that the M9 commercial comes with a 92FS manual is not a big deal. One of the differences mentioned here between the M9 and the 92FS is that the warning that would normally be stamped on the frame of the pistol, telling you to read the manual, retract the slide, check the magazine, check to see if the firearm is loaded, and that it fires without a magazine, is not stamped on the M9 pistol, the commercial. And that's because this is, as I said, Beretta considers this a replica of the military M9. One thing, the 92FS, of course, would have that warning stamped on the right-hand side of the frame of the firearm or on that side of the slide. Okay, we're going to put the manual aside for the moment and get back to opening up the box. It's kind of interesting, the 92FS and the whole 92 series are large, full-sized, certainly full-sized pistols, yet they come in a pretty small package. If this was, say, a Springfield XD or XDM, this case would be that big and the gun would actually be smaller. Okay, so what have we got inside here? Well, we'll start off right off the top. We have the warranty registration in a number of languages. Okay. And one thing that you'll note is Beretta would like you to fill out and return the registration card, and if you do, they will extend their warranty period from 1 year to 3 years. So that seems to be a pretty good deal. I actually went ahead and registered this, but I did it on the Beretta website, or the Beretta USA website. When you arrive here, that's just HTTP, BerettaUSA.com. When you arrive here, scroll to the bottom of the website, under the section that says Community, and you'll see a link for warranty registration. One of the interesting things if you create an account at Beretta is that you can store information about your gun collection, and not just Berettas. I was playing around with the feature a little bit, and when you go to add a new gun, you can choose from pretty much any firearms manufacturer. I don't know what benefit it would be for Beretta to know, say, that I have a Springfield XD9 subcompact, but you can add it. I don't know if I'll play too much with that feature. I have other means for tracking my collection. Okay, so let's get back to the contents of the case. Of course, we have our, firearm, lock safety device. That's a nice blue. Don't have one of these for my collection. Probably won't use it on the pistol, but I will keep it. We have a second magazine, which is always useful. I really appreciate firearms manufacturers that include 1 or 2 extra magazines with a pistol. This, unfortunately, of course, is the 10-round magazine. I live in New York State, and they're even trying to take those away from us. But for the time being, at least we can still load 10. We have the actual pistol itself, with a nice little tag around the trigger guard, saying that the M9 was carried by the U.S. Armed Forces. And of course, that's my main reason for wanting to have this. It is an iconic firearm. It's been used by our service members. It's been featured in a lot of movies, whether it's actually the M9 or the very, very similar 92 FS. And then the last thing we have in the case is this odd bit of plastic with the Beretta logo down inside it. And it's kind of interesting because the divider is not in the center. There's a shallow end and a deep end. There's a lot of discussion, a lot of joking about what this item is. I truly believe that it is designed to prevent the case from being crushed and to prevent the magazine from impacting the pistol, during shipping. I think that's probably what it's really for. However, there are a lot of creative ideas that this is maybe a parts cup for when you are breaking down the firearm. You could put parts in here, but most of the sub-assemblies from the M9 would not fit in there. Another suggestion is that this is a shot glass, and that's a heck of especially in this orientation, that's a heck of a shot. I suppose it could be a wine glass. After all, Beretta is an Italian company. That would certainly work. And I think what I'm going to do with this is that we're going to trim down the shallow side, and my wife has offered to make me Beretta cookies, using it as a cookie cutter. If we do that, I will bring you guys a video showing you Beretta cookies. But for now, we'll put that aside. It's an interesting thing, but not really important. We'll get rid of the case, and we'll take a look at the actual M9. Now, one of the first things you may wonder is, what are some of the differences of the M9 versus the 92 FS? One distinct thing, and probably the most noticeable thing, are the sights. Now, the sights, I don't know if you can see them here. It's a little tricky to get the camera to focus, but these are not 3-dot sights. These are what are called dot and post, and I think there is another name for them, but I don't remember what it is. In any case, the back sight it's actually not a post, but it's kind of a large semicircle, and it kind of looks more like more than half a circle to me. Okay, I don't know if you can see that very well. And then, of course, the front sight, like traditional 3-dot sights, has a single dot, and the idea is that you put the dot on top of the post. In looking at this, it's unusual, but it seems that getting your elevation lined up is very simple. It's very easy to put that dot on top of the post. And the side-to-side or windage also seems very easy and very intuitive. Just from the short time playing around with this, and I have not fired this particular firearm yet, just from the short time of playing around with this, I think I'm going to really enjoy the dot and post sights on the M9. I think they will make for a very rapid target acquisition, and I think that the ease of dealing with the windage adjustment, I think that's going to be something that will help accuracy. One of the other things that the M9 commercial has that the 92 FS does not, of course, is a serial number that begins with M9 dash and then a 6-digit number. That's a little different than the normal 92 FS serial number range. If we look on the other side, you'll notice we don't have any warning stamped on here. The barrel is not marked. I'm sorry, I don't mean to imply that it is on the 92 FS. But the warnings that were mentioned on the orange card in the owner's manual, do not appear here. The other thing, the other difference that you may be able to tell, although I've found it very difficult in photographs, is the dust cover this area under here. On the M9 is supposed to be straight, okay, parallel, you know, to this area of the slide, parallel to the barrel. On the 92 FS, I understand that this is somewhat slanted. That's probably even what I'm doing here is probably an over-exaggeration, but that this is somewhat slanted and meets lower here. It's not parallel to the slide. And I don't know why that would have been done. I've heard that that was done to make the frame also compatible with the 40 caliber version, which I believe is the 96, so that they could make one frame that would be sufficiently strong to handle both the 9mm and the 40mm round. Okay, and then look at that magazine release. Here's our other magazine, also a 10-rounder, and it's very nice that Beretta seemed to know that I was left-handed and would want that on the left side. I'm not fooling you guys, am I? Okay, I had this out of the box earlier. The magazine release comes, you know, set on the right side for a right-handed shooter, but it is reversible at least. It's not ambidextrous, but it is reversible, and I went ahead and did that. I will say one feature of the firearm that I'm not too happy with is the magazine release. It seems really hard to activate it without changing your grip. In other words, from your regular shooting grip, it's a little hard to activate. Now, Beretta does make an extended or an oversized mag release, and I bet that will fix this issue. Okay? But that's about the only downside. Let me just say that the action is very smooth. You know, I have a couple of 1911s. I have some polymer, you know, XDs, XDMs. I've got to say I'm really impressed with the craftsmanship. This action, it's a little stiff because the gun has not ever been fired. It certainly is not broken in, but it's very smooth action. Trigger pull is good. This would be the single action trigger pull. Okay, and I got to tell you, there's nothing in there. There's no creep, no grit. It just kind of boop, the hammer drops, which is quite amazing. We also have double action, so that's a much longer trigger pull. But still, you know, I can tell when that's going to break. And again, the action of the hammer dropping doesn't jar the firearm. It's very smooth. Some of the other features we'll just take a look at here is we have what appears to be a manual safety. Well, it is a safety. It disengages the trigger. It also is a decocker, which is something new for me. It's different than a 1911. So if we go ahead and say we had a round in the chamber, you would not carry it like this with the hammer back. That's real easy to, you know, to accidentally get the trigger and bang, and somebody probably has gotten hurt. So the way this works, and it's not a safety in that it doesn't lock and prevent the trigger from being pulled and the hammer from dropping, it actually, I don't know if you can see this, but right in here is you know, a plunger that hits the firing pin, and as you rotate the safety / decocker, it rotates that other way so that it drops the hammer, but it's not, the firing pin is not struck. And now you've got a round in the chamber. You know, no trigger, no hammer pull. So one in the chamber, your magazine is in. You draw this, you flip off the safety, and now your first pull is double action, bang. There you go. So that seems you know, to work very well. I've never had a firearm until now with this particular type of safety and a decocker on it. Okay, and then I'm just real quickly here, we'll show you the takedown. It's very simple. Okay, slide lock back. Okay, once we got the slide locked back, we're going to push on this. It's not really a pin, but this projection out here. Okay, when we do that, it does push this pin outward. We rotate the disassembly lever down, and then the whole darn thing comes apart. So we'll set down the frame. The frame looks very much, you know, we've still got some factory lube in there, but you know, the frame looks very much like the frame of most other modern firearms. And then, of course, here, again, the slide looks pretty familiar. I will say one thing, the guide rod and the recoil spring, it's not captive. So when you go to pull it out of here, just be aware. I was working within this orientation, and I hit the end of it and just and it shot the rod across the room. Barrel also will drop out. Now notice that to get the barrel out, you do need to depress this pin back here. And of course now it won't work. Okay, there we go. Alright, so the slide's disassembled. A lot of people are not happy with the, expressed concerns with the polymer guide rod. I obviously haven't even fired this pistol, so I don't have any comment on that. I've read a lot of people replace them with solid steel ones. I've heard that the polymer may actually be better, at least for the intended use of this in the military, especially in the desert. That there were issues with sand, debris getting trapped in here, and this kind of fluted polymer rod was better, easier to clear, and was more tolerant of debris than a solid metal rod would be. I don't know, maybe at some point for cosmetic reasons, maybe I'll change it. For now, I'm going to stick with what Beretta gave us. I don't see any reason not to. Okay, and then reassembly is pretty much just the reverse of disassembly. We'll go ahead and pull this back, lock the slide, and we can rotate the disassembly lever in, and we're ready to go. You can either snap the trigger, use the decocker, however you want to do that. Okay, so really that's pretty much it for the M9. Obviously, in the future, I will be doing some shooting videos on this, but for now, that's the M9 unboxing. Thanks for looking in on me. Hey YouTube, FS Physicus here again. I had to come back and do a little PS on this video. You know what the best thing about doing an unboxing video is? I can finally take this out of the case and put it into my safe and not worry about keeping all the materials together so that I can do the unboxing video for you guys. Anyway, I just thought you might find that humorous.